Hello students, let's learn science subject grade 9 chapter 9 force and laws of motion. In the previous chapter we described the motion of an object along a straight line in terms of position, velocity and acceleration. All these terms we have learned. We saw that such a motion can be uniform or non-uniform. Uniform, the graph will be a straight line, and non-uniform, the graph will be a curved one, right? Now take an example of a ball which is on the ground. When you hit it, it will move, but it will not move forever. Continuous move होते नहीं रहेगा, move होके stop हो जाएगा. Such observations suggest that rest is the natural state of an object. It will come to rest, मतलब वो रुक जाएगा. This remained the belief until Galileo and Isaac Newton developed an entirely different approach to understand motion. They studied motion, okay? From daily examples also you can come to know. Suppose you take a trolley, okay? Trolley is at rest. Until and unless you push it, it will not move, right? You will apply force, right? Take another example of a drawer. The drawer is closed. Unless and until you pull, apply a force of pull, then only the drawer will come out. Otherwise it will remain stationary, it will remain at rest, right? We must push or hit or pull on an object to change its state of motion. If it is at rest, and if you want to do it in motion, if you want that object to be in motion, we have to push, pull or hit that object, right? So whatever we push, pull or hit, it is called force, right? It can only be explained by describing what happens when a force is applied to an object. Pushing, hitting or pulling of objects are all ways of bringing objects in motion. Any object can be brought in motion by pushing, hitting or pulling objects. They move because we make a force act on them. Unless and until you don't apply force, that object will not move. Force can be used to change the magnitude of velocity of an object. That is, to make an object move faster or slower, or to change its direction of motion. The magnitude of velocity can be increased or decreased. If you hit the ball hard, it will move fast, right? If you drive a bicycle slowly and slow by slow, we will increase the speed, the velocity will change, right? We also know that a force can change the shape and size of objects. Suppose there is a spring, right? And if you pull the spring, the size of that spring will increase. Or you take the example of a ball or a balloon. If you apply force on both sides of the balloon or ball, the shape of the balloon will change. Okay? Now let's learn about balanced and unbalanced forces. This is a wooden block which is kept on the table, and string is attached on the right hand side, and you name that string as X, and you tie one string on the left hand side of the wooden block, it is called Y. Now if we pull this string X, this wooden block will move in the direction of X. If we move it if you pull the string y, it will move in the direction of y. Suppose if you apply equal pressure on both sides of the string, if you pull the string both sides, the block will not move. If one force is greater than the other force, then the wooden block will move in the direction of the force, right? So when you apply equal pressure and the block doesn't move, it is called a balanced force. And when one of the forces is greater, it is called unbalanced force, and it moves in the direction of the force which is greater. So you can say that it will become motion. It will become in motion, right? What happens when some children try to push a box on a rough floor? See, this is the example given. Okay, children are trying to push this box on a rough floor with a small force. Okay, will the box move? No, the box will not move because the force is small, and there will be friction against the direction of the force applied. If you are applying force over here, friction will be this side because the floor is rough. Okay. This friction force arises between two surfaces in contact. In this case, between the bottom of the box and floor's rough surface. Right? The flooring and the box will rub against each other and friction will be created. It balances the pushing force, and therefore the box does not move. Right? The frictional force is equal to the force applied on the box. Now as the children push harder, the box still does not move. This is because the friction force balances the pushing force. Right? The force which they are pushing, it will be equal to the force of friction. So then the box will not move. Okay, so this can be called a balanced force, right? A very good example of balanced force. Now when the force with which they are pushing the box, if it is increasing, that is if it is greater than the force of friction, the box will move in the direction of the force. They are applying force in this direction. Okay, so box will also move in this direction. Right? When it will move, when the frictional force is less and the force applied is more. So you can say that this is an example of unbalanced force. But it is quite incorrect to say that. Why? An object moves with uniform velocity when the force, that is pushing force, and frictional force acting on the object are balanced and there is no net external force on it. If an unbalanced force is applied on the object, there will be a change either in its speed or in the direction of motion. Suppose if we apply any force which is greater than the frictional force, what will happen? There will be the change in the direction of the motion of the object. Thus, to accelerate the motion of an object, an unbalanced force is required, and the change in its speed or in the direction of motion would continue as long as this balanced force is applied. Unbalanced force is applied, and that motion, direction of motion will be continuing, right? Unless and until that force is removed, the box will continue moving in the direction of force applied. However, if this force is removed completely, the object would continue to move with the velocity it has acquired till then. Means it will move for a certain distance, right? Because it has velocity in it, right? And after some time it will stop. Now let's learn first law of motion. Now you can look at this drawing. There is an inclined plane on which top of the surface a ball is kept, right? What will happen if you release the ball? It will come down, okay? And its velocity will increase, right? Galileo discovered this, right? This ball will fall with an unbalanced force of gravity, and it will roll down and attain a definite velocity by the time it reaches the bottom. Its velocity decreases when it climbs up. In this diagram you can see, right? Because it is going against gravity. Even if this surface is very smooth, even then the ball speed will reduce when it is going up. Galileo argued that when the ball is released from left, it will roll down the slope and go on the opposite side to the same height of which it was released. Means that you take two inclined slopes and start releasing the ball from this end, and it will travel down, it will go here and it will climb up, and it will come to this point where at the height where it had started, right? This was argued by scientist Galileo. If the inclinations of the planes on both sides are equal, then the marble will climb the same distance that it covered while rolling down. That means this angle of inclination, if is equal to this angle of inclination, then that case will attain, right? That means the ball will start from here, roll down, it will climb up to this position when the inclination of the planes is equal. If the angle of inclination on the right side plane were gradually decreased, then the marble would travel further distances till it reaches the original height. If this angle of inclination is reduced, मतलब ये और कम हो गया प्लेन का एंगल, तो क्या होगा? That marble or ball will go until and unless it reaches this height. It will go up to that length, okay? Now if the right side plane is made perfectly horizontal, right? Means this plane is removed and horizontal surface like a ground, okay? Instead of this plane, you assume that the ground is flat. Then what will happen? This ball or marble will travel up to the same distance from which it started. This height it will try to attain that distance, okay? The unbalanced forces on the marble in this case are zero, right? In which case the plane replacing the horizontal surface. It thus suggests that an unbalanced external force is required to change the motion of the marble, but no net force is needed to sustain the uniform motion of the marble. right? Extra force is not required so that the marble will continue to move. Okay, this is the meaning of that sentence. It is difficult to achieve a zero unbalanced force. This is because of the presence of frictional force acting opposite to the direction of motion. Right? Friction force will always act opposite to the direction of force. In practice, the marble stops after traveling some distance. The effect of the traveling force may be minimized by using a smooth marble and a smooth plane and providing a lubricant on top of the planes. The friction can be reduced by two ways. You can use a smooth marble or a smooth ball, and the plane should also be smooth. You can apply a lubricant or oil on the surface of the plane to make it smoother. Right? These are the two ways in which the friction can be reduced. Okay? Newton further studied Galileo's ideas on force and motion and presented three fundamental laws that govern the motion of objects. The three laws are known as Newton's laws of motion. The first law of motion states that an object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change that state by an applied force. Right? If a ball is moving continuously, unless and until you try to stop that ball will not stop, or it can stop due to the frictional force which is acting on the object. In other words, all objects resist a change in their state of motion. In a qualitative way, the tendency of undistributed objects to stay at rest or to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia. So you understood what is inertia? It is the state to remain in that same position of the body or object, or to keep moving with the velocity is called inertia. That is why the first law of motion is known as the law of inertia. What is inertia? To remain in rest or to keep moving continuously is called inertia. Certain experiences that we come across while traveling in a motor car can be explained on the basis of the law of inertia. We tend to remain at rest with respect to the seat until the driver applies a braking force to stop the motor car. While the application of brakes, the car slows down, but our body tends to continue in the same state of motion because of its inertia. हम लोग सब ने एक्सपीरियंस किया रहेगा, ठीक है? कोई भी व्हीकल में बैठे हैं और ड्राइवर क्या करता है, ब्रेक मारता है, तो अपना बॉडी भी आगे ऐसा बेंड होता है, राइट? क्यों? बिकॉज इट वॉज मूविंग इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ फोर्स, डायरेक्शन ऑफ मोशन, एंड ड्यू टू इनर्शिया it happens. Then sudden application of the brake, what will happen? Our body will move further and may cause injury, right? So safety belts are worn to prevent the collision, right, in case of any accident. What do safety belts do? They exert a force on our body to make the forward motion slower. Yes, they will try to resist the forward motion. An opposite experience is encountered when we are standing in a bus and the bus begins to move suddenly. वी टेंड टू फॉल बैकवर्ड। देखा रहेगा अचानक बस स्टार्ट होती है तो हम लोग ऐसे पीछे बेंड होते हैं। वाई? बिकॉज ऑफ द सडन मोशन द बस has started moving and our feet is in contact with the floor of the bus, but our body is at rest because of inertia, so it will try to opposite motion. When a motor car makes a sharp turn at a high speed, we tend to get thrown to one side. ठीक है, एक साइड पूरा हम लोग बेंड हो जाते हैं. Why? This is also because of inertia. When an unbalanced force is applied by the engine to change the direction of motion of the motor car, we slip to one side of the seat. The fact that a body will remain at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force can be illustrated through the following activities. Make a pile of similar carom coins on a table. Attempt a sharp horizontal hit at the bottom of the pile using another carom coin or the striker. If the hit is strong enough, the bottom coin moves out quickly once the lowest coin is removed. The inertia of the other coin makes them fall vertically on the table. ठीक है, ये जैसा एक के ऊपर एक स्टैक करके रखा है वैसे रखना और स्ट्राइकर से जोर से मारना बॉटम वाले को, तो बॉटम वाला क्या है निकल जाएगा बाहर, और जो ऊपर वाले ना वैसे गिरेंगे नहीं, वापस जैसा है वैसे ही हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, खाली नीचे वाला निकल जाएगा और सब वापस बैठ जाएंगे. ठीक है, गिरेंगे कोई भी नहीं. वाई? बिकॉज ऑफ द इनर्शिया, राइट? दे वर एट रेस्ट व्हेन द फोर्स वाज अप्लाइड ऑन द बॉटम मोस्ट coin. Set a 5 rupee coin on a stiff card covering an empty glass tumbler standing on the table. मतलब क्या करना है, कांच का ग्लास लेना है, उसके ऊपर एक जाड़ा वाला कार्डबोर्ड रहना है, उसके ऊपर 5 रुपये का कॉइन लेना है और जोर से वो कार्डबोर्ड को ऐसा मारना है अपने उंगली से, तो क्या होगा, कार्डबोर्ड है ना जोर से दूर जाके गिर जाएगा और जो कॉइन है ना वो नीचे गिरेगा, कॉइन उसके साथ में उड़ेगा नहीं. वाई? बिकॉज ऑफ द मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया, राइट? इट वॉज एट रेस्ट एंड इट विल कंटिन्यू टू रिमेन एट रेस्ट, राइट? सो इट विल फॉल इनसाइड द ग्लास. कोई भी कांच का बर्तन ले लो, उसके अंदर वो गिर जाएगा. Now let's learn about inertia and mass. All the examples and activities given so far illustrate that there is a resistance offered by an object to change its state of motion. If it is at rest, it tends to remain at rest. If it is moving, it tends to keep moving. इनर्शिया का मतलब वही हुआ, अगर आप रेस्ट में है और फोर्स आता है तो यू विल कंटिन्यू टू रिमेन एट रेस्ट, एंड इफ द बॉडी इज मूविंग सो यू विल ऑल्सो द बॉडी विल कीप मूविंग बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ इनर्शिया. दिस प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एन ऑब्जेक्ट इज कॉल्ड इट्स इनर्शिया. Do all bodies have the same inertia? If we kick a football, it flies away. But if we kick a stone of the same size with equal force, it hardly moves. ऐसा अगर करेंगे तो क्या अपने पैर को लग सकता है. ठीक है, पत्थर को पैर मारेंगे तो लग सकता है. अगर ये जो एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था उसमें 5 रुपये का सिक्का था, उसकी जगह 1 रुपये का कॉइन लेगा तो क्या होगा, ये जो कार्डबोर्ड को जो फोर्स अप्लाई किया ना हमने तो वो कम अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, राइट? बिकॉज ऑफ द वेट ऑफ द 1 rupee coin is less than the weight of 5 rupee coin. A force that is just enough to cause a small cart to pick up a large velocity will produce a negligible change in the motion of a train. This is because in comparison to the cart, the train has a much lesser tendency to change its state of motion. जो ट्रेन का बोगी है ना, उसके बदले उसका बात कर रहा है. कार्ट मतलब वही बोगी, ठीक है. जो अपना ट्रेन खड़ी होगी, ठीक है, और उसके साथ में बोगीज भी होती है, राइट. तो जैसे ही अपना ट्रेन चालू होगा तो जो बोगी है ना एक झटके से चालू होगी, देखा रहेगा आप लोगों ने, राइट. बिकॉज द ट्रेन हैज़ अ मच लेसर टेंडेंसी टू चेंज इट्स स्टेट ऑफ मोशन. अकॉर्डिंगली वी से दैट द ट्रेन हैज़ मोर इनर्शिया देन द कार्ट. ठीक है. कार्ट का इन मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया क्या है, कम है. इट इज़ मोर विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू, इट इज़ लेस विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू ट्रेन. क्लियरली heavier or more massive objects offer larger inertia. Quantitatively, the inertia of an object is measured by its mass. We may thus relate inertia and mass as follows. Inertia is the natural tendency of an object to resist a change in its state of motion or of rest. The mass of an object is a measure of its inertia. Mass मतलब जो वजन है ना उसका, कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट का, it is a measure of its inertia. Now let's learn second law of motion. What does the first law of motion state? It states that when an unbalanced external force acts on an object, the velocity will change and that object will get an acceleration, that it will start moving. Now in a game of table tennis, if the ball hits a player it will not hurt him, but if any cricket ball will hit a spectator, मतलब जो देख रहा है उसको लगेगा तो उसको दर्द होगा. ठीक है. और वही क्रिकेट बॉल अगर कोई प्लेयर कैच पकड़ता है उसको लगता है, नहीं लगता, राइट. वैसे ही अगर कोई ट्रक खड़ा है तो उसको इतना ध्यान से नहीं देंगे तो भी चलेगा, ध्यान नहीं देंगे उस पर तो भी चलेगा. लेकिन अगर ट्रक स्लो भी चलता है और किसी आदमी को टक्कर मार देता है तो वो आदमी मर सकता है, राइट. मतलब क्या हुआ, व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट इन दिस, द मास एंड द वेलोसिटी with which that object is moving, right. So if an object is to be accelerated, we know that a greater force is required to give a greater velocity. In other words, there appears to exist some quantity of importance that combines the object's mass and its velocity, राइट. दोनों का इंपॉर्टेंस है, मास और वेलोसिटी का. वन सच प्रॉपर्टी इज कॉल्ड मोमेंटम. इट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय न्यूटन, राइट. ही वाज द साइंटिस्ट हु इन्वेंटेड दैट प्रॉपर्टी. द मोमेंटम p of an object is defined as the product of its mass and velocity. So what is momentum? If you multiply mass with velocity of the object, you will get the momentum of that object. Momentum has both directions and magnitude. Its direction is the same as that of velocity. The SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Since the application of an unbalanced force brings a change in the velocity of the object, it is therefore clear that a force also produces a change of momentum. Right, you know that the force which will produce the change in the object It is therefore clear that a force also produces a change in momentum. Now let us consider a situation in which a car with a dead battery is to be pushed along a straight road to give it speed of 1 meters per second, which is sufficient to start its engine. If one or two persons give a sudden push, that is unbalanced push to it, it hardly starts. But a continuous push over some time results in gradual acceleration of the car to this speed. ठीक है, अचानक ऐसे झटका मारेंगे तो कार हिलेगा नहीं हिलेगा, लेकिन कंटिन्यूस धीरे 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 फोर्स अप्लाई करेंगे तो कार क्या है, मूव होएगी, राइट. इट मीन्स that the change in momentum of the car is not only determined by the magnitude of force but also by the time during which the force is exerted. It may then also be concluded that the force necessary to change the momentum of an object depends on the time rate at which the momentum is changed. ठीक है, मतलब हम लोग ने फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं कंटिन्यूसली, लेकिन कार मूव नहीं हुई. जब कार मूव होती है ना, वो टाइम पे बोल सकते हैं कि द मोमेंटम हैज स्टार्टेड. द सेकेंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force.